and then our daughter Caitlin. Being able to share those last 3 miles with you, that's what's getting me through the previous 97, is to get to you. I started ultra running, it's probably about 2008 that I got involved in ultra running. I had run California International Marathon a few times at that point. I had a buddy who, I think like all of us in ultra running, have that enabler friend who pushed me on to American River 50, and that ended up being my first ultra. After AR50, I've done obviously Way Too Cool, local race, and then done Rio del Lago, 100-miler several times. And then most recently did the Canyons 100K, and that was a sweet treat in Western States in 2012 and 2013. So I got in qualifying at Rio del Lago. That's the hometown 100 that I run a lot. So I showed up at the lottery just to cheer for Carolyn, who had a bunch of tickets in, thought it might be her year. And so I was there, and I run with Rod and Carolyn on the weekends. You get your playing card when you walk in the door. When I signed my playing card, I wrote a little heart on it and made a joke with the lady. I'm like, oh, that's so this one's special, and like threw it in the box, never thinking it's gonna get drawn. So we sat there the entire lottery, and we listened to every name that got drawn, and we didn't get drawn. Carolyn didn't get drawn, and I didn't get drawn. Rodney didn't get drawn. We were just, kind of listening to the last few things at the close of the lottery, and then obviously they do the playing card entries, which or anybody who's present, you get the playing card, and they'll do a second chance drawing at the end for just people who are in the audience. So we were sitting there, and I was half not paying attention. I'm on my phone telling my wife that I did not get in, and here comes the King of Diamonds gets drawn. There's multiple decks of cards because there's that many people in the audience, so it doesn't necessarily mean you're in, but I wasn't even paying attention. And Carolyn sitting beside me, and she hit me, and she's like, hey, you have a King of Diamonds. And then right after that, they said my name. And anybody who's seen that picture knows, like with the King of Diamonds, I also surrendered my man card because I got up and was teared up. There was a lot of emotion on this year. This year training has actually, knock on wood, been very good. I've felt great. It's just been ever since December. Literally the next day I was signing up for Canyons. I was signing up for the training runs. Did both. Canyons was definitely tough getting through. I was pretty much ready to stop and drink beers at the 50K mark. Forced my way through. I got there and I'm like, I'm not gonna quit. This is ridiculous. My daughter was there. Then it was like, okay, now I'm never quitting in front of her. But training is just, knock on wood, has gone smoothly. Had no injuries. I can't complain. Everything happens for a reason. You just have to look at the positive that comes out of it. Crew chief this year is my wife, Lori Van Dusen. Then my daughter, Caitlin Van Dusen, has been suckered into doing a full 30 hours and then doing the last 3 miles pacing duties with me. And then I have Brian Medley is going to be the navigator and medical. Just an awesome guy. I got the joy of pacing him and crewing for him at Badwater in 2021. Squared away, knows how to solve problems that occur on the trails. And then I have Carolyn Lake is helping me out. Run with her every weekend with her and her husband Rodney. So she'll be in there crewing, and she'll probably be the party coordinator of the group, making sure there's plenty of bubbles going around and making sure they're having a good time while they crew and keeping everybody happy and laughing. And then for pacers, I have Sunny Carter, she's been a huge part of pacing me for every 100-miler and crazy idiot run I do. She is the most foul-mouthed encourager and will just get you wherever you need to be. She won't let you quit, just got that no quit mentality and just will force me to keep going. So I have her pacing me from Forest Hill School till Green Gate. So essentially like mile 62 to 79. And then Rodney Lake, I met him one year running Rio del Lago. We were running about the same pace and we just hit it off and became great friends. We run together all the time. And Rodney's pacing me from Green Gate all the way to No Hands where Caitlin will pick me up. And Rodney is excellent about knowing how to softly motivate me in those like final, the miles that you just need to really dig deep in. He knows what to say to me to keep me running. He knows what to say to me to make me run faster if he thinks I'm running too slow, or if he thinks I have something left in the tank, he'll push me and get me there a little faster. My family will be out cheering at a bunch of spots. My parents will come out, and then my brother will be out as well, and they'll be coming to Forest Hill School in the finish. Just looking forward to seeing them out there. And then at the finish, a bunch of friends coming to the finish line. So that'll be a nice party. Good morning. It's Friday morning, Squaw Valley. Early, about 6 in the morning, out here to see what's going on in the mountains. Do a little interview with Channel 3 here. It is nice and cold, but not a cloud in the sky. Super early, Friday morning. I'm gonna have to just do a quick interview with Channel 3. This being the 10-year anniversary of the first time running states and Bodie getting shot and all that. So I'm going to chat with them this morning and see what happens. May 18th, 2012. I was training for Western States, but was on duty that day, and we got into a little car chase, and Bodie was shot in the line of duty protecting my life. He survived the shooting, went through a lot of rehab and surgeries, and the race director of Western States had him run the last lap of Western States. 2012, I got into Western States through a sack fit spot. So I met Ken Press in early 2012. My wife was running the Parkway Half Marathon. I was working that day on duty as a police officer, and I went out to just watch her for a few minutes at a couple spots that she was running past. I was out there and I got flagged down. Somebody said, "Hey, somebody fell down the trail and they're hurt." And I said, "Okay." So I start kind of walking up the trail to where they are, see if they need some medical aid or something. And I had another runner come running back to me, and they said, "Hey, this person looks really bad." I ran up, and it was about a quarter mile up the trail, and found the runner was just down on the ground and not breathing. His wife was there with him. She had been running the half with him. So immediately started CPR and called for medical and just worked on him for quite a while. Luckily, a nurse and another person came along and started helping with CPR and was able to finally bring him back after about 6 minutes. And so that was pretty intense. Then he lived. So he went into the hospital, and the doctors there saved his life. He was in the hospital for quite a while, and so the family reached out to me and wanted to let me know that he had lived. And then I actually ended up meeting Ken Press through that, and we started talking, and he asked me if I did a little running, and I had already run Rio del Lago a couple times at that point. I said, "Oh yeah, I run." He's like, "Oh, what's your dream race?" And I said, "Well, Western States, that's like everybody's dream race." He said, "Okay, you have our spot. If you don't get drawn in the lottery, that spot's yours." So I'm a believe it when I see it type of guy. And so I'm like, okay, yeah, I appreciate it. And just didn't know if it would ever really come to fruition. And then did not get drawn in the lottery. Right after the lottery, Ken reached out to me. He said, "Okay, you're in, you're going to get an email." Then it became very real. 2012, started training super hard because Western States is obviously the big show, and it's like the Olympics of our sport, and you might not ever get in again, so you want to take advantage of every opportunity. 2012 was training really hard, and then in May of 2012, May 18th, I was working as a canine handler at the time for the police department, and my partner got shot. My police canine was shot when we were chasing a bad guy into a backyard. He ended up getting shot. That kind of derailed training for a little bit. The veterinarians were able to save his life. Shortly after he had been shot, the race director of Western States at the time reached out to me and said, "Hey, we recognize your name from some of the stuff we've seen on the news, and if Bodie is able to physically be at the finish line for you at Placer High School, he'll be able to run that last lap with you." I said, "Okay, let's make this happen." So I continued my training. It was pretty rough that May to June, just finishing up the training and pushing to be ready for States. Bodie was recovering well. He had a bunch of surgeries and rehab before States. 2012 came up here and started in Squaw, worked hard and got to Auburn, and Bodie was there waiting for me. So that was it. That one was rough. That was a tearjerker for sure. 10 years later, we're here and still is. I think just pushing through the day, getting to the finish line, seeing him, seeing my family there, that was obviously a fairly stressful event. Getting in a shootout in the backyard, and so just having all that support there at the end of States was huge. And then Bodie limped along. He had been shot in his jaw, and the bullet had gone into his paw, so he was in this little doggy cast, and he ended up limping the last little 0.2 with me and got to the finish. So that was pretty cool. Really enjoyed that part. 2022 is the 10-year anniversary of running it the first time, of running it with Bodie and getting into States and experiencing this. So here we are 10 years later.
Do you have your band on at this point?
Awesome. Okay.
Yeah, April 6th.
All right. Perfect. I know you're Brandy. All right. You're now officially checked in.
Awesome.
And should you decide that you're not going to start, which I know is not going to happen, but for some reason what does happen, you're informed quick. Otherwise, have a great day. See you back there.
Thank you very much.
What's the number? What's
Here we go. 1, 2, 3. Stay right there, sir. What's
So 2012 was a great year, finished strong, got it done in 28 and a half hours. Was super happy about that. And then the rest of 2012, just kept training, ran Rio del Lago and just kind of wound out the year, put in again for Western States. And we showed up at the lottery, going through not thinking at all with one ticket that I'm gonna get drawn, but just there to support friends who were also had their name in the lottery. And then we got drawn. The 20th name in the lottery got drawn, so we were back in for 2013. 2013 was a very exciting year because now I didn't have kind of the stress and everything surrounding the Bodie year, where it was a lot of shooting, a lot of kind of being in the public eye, where there was just that additional stress on top of things to, perform well. And so 2013 was just enjoyable. I was able to run with friends and just really have a good time training for it and just be excited about it. It was just a really magical year. And 2012 had been a very cold year at the start, and a lot of rain and snow and hail all the way through like Robinson Flat. And then 2013 was just the opposite. It was a really warm year, a lot of heat, which I really love. I love being in the heat out there running. 2013, we showed up, the family and Pacers, and went out and did the same thing. It was a big weight lifted off because I'd already completed it in 2012, so 2013 was nice. It was just more of a party, and we just had a really good time with everybody. Made it to Placer with the help of obviously crew and Pacers. Nobody can get through this race without them. They got me to the finish there. And then 2013 was cool because we didn't have Bodie there that year because they don't allow dogs at Western States. He was the only dog to ever be able to finish Western States that last lap, but I had my family there. And so running around the track with my daughter and wife and all our family out there was just it felt like a huge accomplishment. So 2013 was a really great year at States also. And we did take our time getting into. Coming up was just a walk, just enjoying every minute out there on the course and really getting my money's worth of Western States. That you don't want it to end. Once you get to that point where okay, you know you're going to make that finish line, it's just you want to just soak in every minute you can with your family and friends, and having everybody there was huge. June is Cancer Survivors Month, and I'm a cancer survivor. So I was diagnosed with testicular cancer April 6th of 2020. Had been ignoring some changes in my business for like 6 months, like any good guy will do, and put stuff off going to the doctor. So finally went to the doctor, and the doctor's like, okay, yeah, check me out, they confirm it, and you have testicular cancer. At that point, ended up having a surgery, have my left testicle removed, recover from that. I was a stage 2. With that, you are generally fine without having to do chemo. You just do surveillance. You just watch for the cancer to return. And if it returns, it typically will return in your lymph nodes. I went ahead and was right on top of my scans and blood tests every 3 months, and made it to September. And in September, Labor Day weekend, and I get a call from my doctor on Labor Day, which is a bad sign. He's like, hey, your cancer's back, it's in your lymph nodes, so you're going to have to go through some pretty crappy chemotherapy. And so we started chemo a couple weeks later and started 4 rounds of chemotherapy in September of 2020. Wrapped that up in December. We were right in the middle of a pandemic then, so that was a super treat. And I was lucky enough, my immune system was shot pretty bad, and I ended up catching COVID in December of 2020. So that was like the cherry on top. Made it into January, so January of 21, go in for my CT scan just to make sure that the chemotherapy had worked and put my lymph nodes back to normal. A couple days later, I was actually out running on the trails out at Folsom Lake. Then the doctor calls me. Good news that your cancer looks like it responded well to the chemo. We don't see your lymph nodes irregular anymore, but we did pick up a pulmonary embolism in your lung. So he's like, what are you doing right now? I said, well, I'm at the trail running. He's like, okay, well, can you get back to your car and come to Kaiser? We got to put you on blood thinner shots. That was just a 90-day treat that we got through on top of the cancer and chemo and stuff. And I want to say, like, ultra running's always helped me get through like any tough times, because like even in cancer, when the doctor told me, all right, you have to do 4 rounds of chemo, each round's 21 days. I'm like, okay, 84-day ultra marathon. I can do this. I just got to embrace the crappiness for 84 days. And so did the same thing with the blood thinner shots. That, hey, 90 days, no problem. That was one thing through chemo that would kind of keep my sanity, was just getting out and just running. It got to a point where I could only run maybe a mile or 2 miles without being pretty messed up, but I would always push to do that. I tell people ultra running kind of saves my life, because when you go through hard times, you just suck it up, because it's going to get better at the end. At some point, it's going to quit hurting as much, and you just keep that relentless forward motion, and you're going to get to the end of it, whatever you're going through. Have been good ever since. January of 2022 was my 1-year cancer-free mark. Now here we are at States.
Here we are, waking up. It's 3:40 in the morning, getting some breakfast. I'll walk over and eat, take it back to the room, and that's it. And then run home. Here we go. Here we all are. Walking to the start. Let's do this.
Get me an apple juice. I feel like bad takeaway.
Will you go get me 2 apple juices, please?
Here we go.
Yes.
Well, first and foremost, I need to thank my wife, Lori, and she has put up with me through not only ultra running, but just life in general. I've known Lori since kindergarten. I've been dating Lori since prior to I could legally drink. So she's seen me at a lot of these crazy runs. I just appreciate her always supporting me. Thank you very much. I appreciate you. And then our daughter, Caitlin. We had to work very hard to get her. We luckily achieved perfection. So Caitlin, thank you very much. I could not love you more, and I cannot be more proud of you. Being able to share those last 3 miles with you. That's what's getting me through the previous 97, is to get to you. And then I obviously have to thank Team Trail Sloth. Team Trail Sloth, I run with all of you all the time. We do the same crazy stuff. We have fun together. We drink together. We run together. It's just a lot of fun that we have. Rodney, Carolyn, I always look forward to our weekend runs and catching up from the week prior. Brian, I've always admired your running is just insane. You push pain management to a new level. Always impressed. And then Sonny, you have been around for so many years, just a solid friend, always fun to pace with and be out there sharing stories with on the trails and getting yelled at and cussed at by you. Could not be more fun. And then thank you to my mom and dad for obviously coming out, supporting my craziness, and to my brother, Rich. Love you guys very much and appreciate you.
7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Here we are. Let's do this.
got over the escarpment. It's 6:15 and we're rocking. Let's do this. Oh, 6.5. Here we go, coming in the first aid station. Time is 7:52 a.m. 10.8 miles in. Oh yeah.
I've spotted a trail sloth on the trail. Woo woo! How's it going, man?
Oh, it is fabulous.
It's good to see you. Yes.
Hot as shit.
Yes.
Uphill sucks.
Yep.
Downhill's good.
Okay. I like that. Yeah, because you know what? You have a lot of downhill.
There's a lot of downhill coming,
Yeah,
so hell yeah.
it's pretty much downhill from here, man.
Runner number 406, Randy Van Dusen. Randy is a sergeant with the Sacramento Police Department, oversees air operations for SAC, former detective, former...
135.
What do you need?
Somebody to rub biofreeze on my legs while I eat.
Yep.
Dirty feet up there.
Yep.
Pulling, effing, cramping. Never had a cramping sore. I'm gonna well, let's try to eat some taters. Thank you.
Tried them.
You tried them?
Where do you want it?
Are they good?
She says they
everywhere.
She says they need salt.
Yeah?
What's the next one? I got out early that.
You're good. You're so good. You're good. Just on the downhill, still remember to take a little walk break. It's going to be exposed, you know, remember, so.
Does he want his hat that covers his neck? Yeah.
Okay.
The floppy hat?
No, this is good. Just tighten the lids. Well, thank you guys.
Awesome job. You're looking great.
Yes.
Trail sloth.
People like
Whoop, whoop.
at the front.
I'm not going to take that with me.
Okay. You have one in the back of your...
Take it out?
Take it out?
Yeah.
It's out. All right. Western States, baby!
Fuck yeah! Top of that motherfucking climb. Thank God.
Hi, I know I'm blinding you, but I'm gonna film you for a minute. How you doing, buddy? Yeah? Yeah. I'm good to be here with... You got plenty of time, dude.
Oh, boy.
But you're here, and Carolyn's here.
Sunny's ready to
Sweet.
go? Yep.
Okay.
Yes.
Great job, Randy.
Thank you very much.
Great job.
Actually, we can on regular water.
He gets 5 minutes and then we gotta go. So that's why yeah, there's 3.7 to the next one.
We gotta be there by
We're filming.
Oh, fuck. got it. Got the light off. Oh, yeah, right here. Thank you.
Just a couple trail sloths here.
A couple of titty-deep river crossings.
Oh yeah. How was that? Was that nice on the legs? Hello.
You are rocking it back.
Let's do it.
when you're out on the trail and it's 2 in the morning, you're like, this is freaking terrible. I've got 35 more miles to go. What is happening? And you're trying to do math to see if you're going to make it to the next aid station before cutoff. It's overwhelming when you're looking at this huge picture. If you just run the mile you're in, just worry about the 1 mile that you're running at that time. That's all you can control. And you just do that a bunch of freaking times in a row.
Soon, so soon.
In Auburn, bitch.
Yeah.
Great job. Thank you. Good job. Thank you. Great job. Hell yeah. Fast no hands, baby. We're coming.
She was tiny when I started ultra running, you know, when I ran in 2012, she was only 7 years old, and she's 17 now. This year is really cool because she's going to pace me from No Hands Bridge to the finish, so she'll do the last 3 miles with me, so I'm really looking forward to that.
Initially, the plan was to have Caitlin at No Hands to pace me. Being so behind pace, we kind of decided that, all right, we're going to have Katie meet us up at Roby instead. That way she didn't have that pressure of trying to keep me moving under a 18-minute mile, and then that kind of put a carrot on a stick for me that, all right, now I just got to make it to Roby. And then once I saw Caitlin, that was like pretty cool. She like jogged down and she just gave me the, hey, come on, let's go, Dad. It's hard to describe. It just gives you like a whole, like a boost of energy.
You know, the 10-year anniversary of the first time running it, going through cancer, going through the pulmonary embolism, dealing with life, and just being here back at this, you know, start line. You know, I think about it constantly, just what the day is going to hold, what kind of challenges, what kind of suck I get to embrace. So it's exciting. So this year is probably one of the most important years for me. We don't know if we ever get back into a race like this, taking advantage of it, living every moment. I know people talk about like 100-milers, like life in a day, and it really is, because you just compact a bunch of pain and just getting through different issues that pop up and working through those with your crew and your family and teammates. You work through all those issues and you get to that finish line, and it's like a representation of life, but it's just crammed into like 30 hours. It's an extreme representation of life.
Hey Randy, it's Barry. Here you're in the last little stretch for Western States. We're rooting you on here. Keep it up, keep on running, and we'll see you at the finish line. Bye.
Hey Brandy, you're truly amazing. You've been doing great all day. I've been tracking you all the time, and you totally got this. You're in the last stretch right now, so you can do this.
Hey Randy, it's Liz, Carolyn's sister. Wish I could be there to cheer you on in person, but want to say that you're amazing and you fucking rock for doing this and getting this far. So believe in yourself that you can get to that finish line. We believe in you.
Hey Randy, you've got this. You've done it before. You know how to get it done. Can't wait to see you up at Roby and share a beer with you afterwards. Get up here. Oh, and by the way, we do have beer at Roby for you if you need it.
Hi, this message is for Randy freaking Van Dusen. Dude, you fucking got this, bro. Dude, you've done hard shit in your life, and this is hard, but you fucking come out the other side on everything else. You have got this. You just got to put your head down and move. Everybody's here waiting for you. You can totally do this. We're going to come back to Roby. We're going to pick your ass up, and we're going to run your ass home. Okay? We'll see you in a bit. Keep going. You got this.
Hey brother, you're out there, man. The sun is back up. You're going there. You're almost done. You got this, dude. This is what you're all about. This is what you want. This is what you need, man. You got it. I wish I could be there for you. Keep going, one foot in front of the other.
Hey, good morning, Randy. It's Mary Parati, and I am just here sending you all good wishes, success in this amazing race. I can't even believe I'm calling somebody who's on their way to finish Western States, because I know you are going to do this.
It's Bob Parati. You are stronger than you can imagine. And at times where you don't think so, I don't think I have to tell you, you can dig deep. I'm sure you have, and you're going to continue to do that. Do your very, very best, as you always do. Keep it going. Remember all the people that are 100% behind you, giving you the support and love and prayers. We know you can do it, but no matter what, do your best.
I feel amazing. Just getting through it, it was definitely a struggle. I was chasing cutoffs all day long and wasn't really paying attention to how close I was to them. You know, I was making the cutoffs at aid stations, but was still behind the 30-hour pace. So that was, you know, something that I didn't really pay attention to until probably about Green Gate. Was able to pull it together. Definitely feel amazing. There was a lot of, not pressure from the outside, but just my own internal expectations to get it done and to just get through it. That was pretty heavy weight, you know, that's on your mind when you know that it's probably not going to happen for a long time getting back in the race. So that's just it's a big amount of pressure on you to get it done. I was very happy to get that done. One thing that Rodney did, and I don't know whose plan it was that came up with the idea, but Rodney was playing me messages on his phone, and so, you know, there were points we'd be walking or jogging, and this was mostly, even coming out of ALT, they were trying to give me an extra boost. So, you know, having old friends call and, you know, people leaving me messages like, hey, we're waiting at the finish, we expect to see you here. That was pretty cool. I've never had them pull that trick on me before, so. And everybody knows I'm like an emotional dude, so they like play these little tricks to try and get me all emotional to finish. But it worked. Rodney was playing messages from everybody, just like, hey, we're watching you, we're tracking you, you know, we're waiting at the finish, and just sending like positive energy. So that was pretty cool. I don't even know how he had cell service in the middle of the frickin' woods, but somehow they like pulled it off. So that was a cool little pacer trick. So any pacers out there looking for some cool tricks, that one works. Like record some audio messages and play them when times are a little tough. There were a lot of times during the race I had to just remember why I was out there, having that goal of knowing that, hey, the family is waiting for me. People have given up their whole weekend and part of their week to come out here and do this with me. And then there was a lot of times I would just look down at my bib number, and I had 406, which was to correspond to April 6th was my cancer diagnosis day. And so I would tap that every once in a while, just running mentally and just remembering why I was out there doing that and going through that pain. But then it was all worth it. Getting that finish line and having so many friends and family there, and just all the posters the kids had made, and that was just like the most epic finish. My brother was there with my parents at the finish also, so that was cool. You know, he was able to run that just kind of with all the crew and stuff, run that last lap when we came in. So that was really cool to be able to share that with him too. At the time, I was so focused on getting there, and you know, you don't tear up too much about it right then. Looking back now, I'll find myself even just randomly, like if I think about something, I'll like tear up a little bit thinking about the day or thinking about certain times that, you know, seeing the family and stuff. It just is like great memories. And when you take away like memories from the race, you're not thinking about like the misery, the throwing up, the how sore you were, the blisters you got, or anything of that. You remember how you feel at certain points, and how you feel when you know, saw your crew at Michigan Bluff or saw them at Forest Hill. And so I think that's a cool thing to just kind of remember. You'll remember the good feelings over how crappy you felt, or how much a blister hurt, or how sore your legs were. That's like one way to just keep going in a 100-mile or two, is just knowing what it's going to feel like and visualizing that finish line, because it's very difficult to explain how that feels. And it's going to feel different for everybody too, you know. I felt freaking amazing getting to that finish line and just sharing that with the family, and so many friends out there that they were all able to see that. And just, it reminded me too, if you're making those cutoffs, if you just keep moving forward, they'll kick you off if they have to. Don't quit, just keep pushing forward and get it done. Recovered, you know, slowly. Obviously took some time off from running, and then I did not take any time off from drinking or eating like crap. I took a couple weeks off from running, and then back at it. Right now, looking forward to October and sign up for Javelina and go out to Arizona and give that one a shot. Go with friends and family and have a good time and get Carolyn a qualifier. one of my crew, Carolyn, her and Rodney bought a bunch of raffle tickets, and then I bought raffle tickets also. We were sitting there just listening to the numbers, and they drew one of my numbers. Carolyn had never been in. I like snuck over, I looked at the number, I verified, and then I just walked over to her and I said, here you go. So I was excited to like be able to kind of pay that forward for her. My first dates, I got in from an aid station spot. Ken Press had paid that forward to me. Kind of cool to be a part of Carolyn's journey.
Hopefully that's the right number. I think I gave her the right number. Did we verify that? Did you get her on video? That was a lot of cries. She cries more than I cry.
Oh my God.
Go get a qualifier. You qualify?
I feel like you should
run 100K.
Well, you gotta
go get it done.
What's the next?
How do you feel?
Oh my God. I feel fucking awesome. I am so stoked. Like this has been, I am shaking. This has been so many years in the making, and to get the opportunity, I'm just thrilled and so grateful. Yeah. Yes.
I think like looking back on it, your bib only has your name on it. But it's everybody who's out there with you, everybody who helped you train, everybody that's encouraged you, and then especially like your crew and pacers. It's a team event. Running is a weird sport, ultra running especially, because it's semi-selfish, because you do take a lot of time away from family and friends and other things you could be doing, because you'll be out for runs for 4, 6, 8 hours, you know, on a weekend day. It's pretty selfish. Like you're taking that time away from other things, from other priorities. The family lets you be away for that time, and they make sacrifices, and their name's not on that bib, but it absolutely should be. You know, your whole crew and team. If I was running that race and didn't have those aid stations to look forward to, where I'm going to see my crew, or I know that, hey, Sonny's picking me up at Michigan Bluff, and I got Rodney coming at Green Gate, those give you those like mental goals to work towards. And if you're just out there soloing it, it's very doable, but it's not as enjoyable, I think. I just think everybody's name should be on that bib. Definitely, that was a team effort that day. I wouldn't have got to the finish without the perfect crew that we assembled. Knowing everybody that brings something different to the team. We were Team Trail Sloth, and it was for sure a team. I can't thank everybody enough that was out there and just sacrificing their time to get me to that finish line, sacrificing their sleep and everything else. You know, they all took time out of their busy schedules, and I just appreciate Team Trail Sloth so much. Appreciate everybody that came to the finish, all my friends and all of Caitlin's friends. It was just awesome to have so many people out there, so definitely thank everybody who came out.